How did primitive people before bathing have sex without the woman getting infections all the time? Why do you think people didn't bathe? Animals bathe themselves. Yes, I have wondered how women dealt with yeast infections and bladder infections before the understanding of them or the advent of medicines to treat them. I am guessing women just suffered miserably, possibly even died. Bladder infections can get out of control very easily if not treated. I am not sure how much bathing factored into it. I bathe every single day and I am just prone to getting both of the above regardless of my cleanliness level. First answer that comes to my mind is, they probably didn't avoid infections. They likely contracted STIs and suffered a lot of pain and trouble as a result, but it wasn't enough to stop them from procreating. As others have said, humans did bathe, just like many other animal species bathe. Also, clothes make an environment that's great for breeding bacteria warm and damp. Before clothes, genitalia wouldn't have grown bacteria the same as they do now. They didn't. Infections were a major cause of disease and death in humans until antibiotics were developed a century ago. Even monkeys bathe, birds bathe, etc. There is no before bathing primitive humans. Well, they probably weren't as stupid as people keep thinking they are. They used the tools they had at the time to get the job done. Raw duggan for sure. UTI City. I'd be dead. I've gotten sepsis twice from UTIs just from having sex with my partner. Doctor said that it's unbelievably common for women to get UTIs, so without modern medicine I'd be dead. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with bathing. Unless your partner has been rolling in rotting things, then maybe. People have always known to wash themselves. Vaginas are also naturally self-cleaning. Most of the top answers are bad and don't actually answer the question. They just got infected. Human lifespans were very short for most of their existence. Dude, people always bathed, even if it just meant wading into the riverbank and washing up with cold water. They died. Most death was disease, buddy. That's a complex question actually. Are you talking primitive people as in cavemen? It's a combination of bacteria we no longer need, produce, and acquire by being exposed outdoors, and that they did bathe in rivers and streams and lakes, just like most other animals. If you mean something like Victorian England kind of primitive people, then yes, they did get infections all the time. It's the right combination of not having the aforementioned bacteria and not having an adequate water supply for bathing that led to horrifying infections and unsanitary conditions. And the plague. If they got stinky, they just added more perfume and more layers of clothing. So now you have all that teeming bacteria tightly compressed against your skin, without air or sunlight, and not touching soap for what could be weeks. Fun stuff. Most primitive people probably had infections and rashes all the time. Over time you develop immunities or develop less symptoms as well. Just like how people in India are completely fine eating the street food, or Chinese people eating gutter oil in some cities, yet if I would eat it I would lose my life on the toilet. People did get infections all the time. That's a large part of why their life expectancy was a lot lower. Bathing was always a thing though. The vagina is self-cleaning. Also, we probably have a lot weirder bacteria and viral threats under industrial capitalism, but I'm speculating there. They probably just got UTIs a lot. Bathing is not new, but all the medical stuff is. I think that's why religion placed such an emphasis on the women not having sex loosely. They quite literally could endanger themselves fatally from it. And I think that's why some of us today still have the notion women should be abstinent far more than men. The practice carried on for generations even though the root cause no longer is as big of an issue. Bathing was always a thing among Africans and Native Americans. In Europe at certain times, bathing wasn't the norm due to the belief of water-carrying disease. Bathing was a staple in other cultures,